Police are preparing to train officers on a revised use of force policy. The changes have been in the works for about a year now.
12 News journalist Colleen Sikora has been speaking with police and community groups about those changes.
9 pages set to become Phoenix Police's use of force policy after about a year of Phoenix Police revising the document under Interim Chief Michael Sullivan. Sullivan telling us in August it was due to be improved upon.
We're getting to the point to develop training for that policy and then train all of our members in that policy. I think that's something that's very, very important. Make sure that officers know and understand the policies that we put out.
Phoenix Police saying they received more than 800 public comments on the policy with input from the Department of Justice, which has had a pattern or practice investigation open into the department for more than 2 years, including looking into Phoenix Police's use of force, among other areas.
As we look at the document of where it stands today, what are the biggest changes that have been made?
So the biggest kind of three-prong test on this is we're looking at 3 different things. It's going to be how reasonable the use of force is, proportional, and necessary.
Other changes include spelling out officers' duty to intervene and provide medical attention.
For people who might say these changes don't go far enough, that it's not going to create the kind of change that maybe they want to see, what would you tell them?
Well, we did have an opportunity for the public, English and Spanish too, to give that input. We received over 800 types of comments and so forth that were all looked at, and some of them did become part of our policy.
Shalay Flores is a spokesperson for Poder in Action, a social justice organization that wants to see funding reallocated from police to other resources like affordable housing and mental and substance abuse resources, but says the organization did help families affected by police use of force draft feedback on the policy.
The rewriting of the policy is an attempt to reform. And like I had said, there is no amount of reform that could build trust with the community. In fact, any kind of reform action only expands the size, scope, and power of the police department.
Chief Sullivan is having all officers go through 20 hours of training before the policy officially takes effect.
You're not going to change 20 years of learned behavior in 20 hours of training.
Civil rights attorney David Shammy represented the family estate of Muhammad Muhaimin. Muhaimin died in Phoenix police custody in 2017. A 5-year court battle ended in a $5 million settlement from the city of Phoenix.
I feel like this was more about appeasing those who would be looking at the written changes as opposed to how are you actually going to implement and train and hire that will be done in a way that will actually make a difference in the way policing happens in Phoenix.
Colleen Sikora, 12 News.